a STEM competition where students design, build, and present a robot and an engineering project. Vex Robotics uses advanced metal parts and sensors that and can customize more than Vex Robotics. Vex can also focus on coding and engineering. There are a lot of tournaments with fast, exciting matches that use lots of energy. AI is transforming the world, and robots can help solve tasks that require more precision, intelligence, and automation. Our team can explore AI and support future industries such as healthcare, logistics, space exploration, and environmental monitoring. We will now have stuff a little bit about us. I'll go first. My name is Ryan, and I'm creative. I love music, and I love robots. And I love robots, Legos, just building stuff. And technology in general. I joined the team because I want to be an engineer when I'm older. Yeah.
My name is Jennifer, and I joined the club because I want to learn DOS code and learn how to fix robotics. I like chatting, reading workout books, playing games, and watching and playing Minecraft.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eddie. I am 11 years old. I joined because I want to be like my uncle and want to have fun and learn new things.
Hi, my name is Hunter and I'm in 7th grade. I joined the robotics team to make friends and have fun. The thing I enjoy the most is the fun that you get. I enjoy building things and I love robots.
Okay. Mr. Winter, I think you have some comments or questions.
So that was very good, and I love the shirts from Business Notions too. First, the question is, do you guys have a Facebook page where we can follow what you guys are doing?
Not yet. I'm going to, well, actually we do, but I haven't put anything on it yet. I've only put the team photos on it, right there. So I would also like to thank Zan from Ace Hardware, because he's been donating tools as well, and I want to invite Mr. Raymond to the front for an award. Students, come up. All of you. You would like to Mr. Raymond with an award, right?
Yeah.
But you might maybe stand up so we can get a picture of you, so either, just so we can see you up there, maybe with the kids. Put a few more kids on the other side there. Or well, never mind, there you go. That's all right. Okay. Is that good enough? Okay, all the little ones, you're gonna have to come over here.
Mr. Timothy, right? Why don't you go in the front?
You can't.
If he stands there, we can see him if he stands.
Yeah, if he stands there, just by the
See
box.
Chase, go right back there. Yeah,
That'll be fine.
Terry, you can come up here if you need.
You need up here, it's fine.
Thank you.
Or you might pull the microphone down, so it's not in the middle of her face. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, now remember what happens when we smile up here. You don't get any questions from me about boys or girls or anything. So look up here and smile. Come on. Come on.
cut through Hank's holdout so far.
I know, but they're coming around. All right,
Okay, one more question that we've heard. How do kids find out about robotics? Are the schools promoting it?
No, I haven't talked to the school yet. Yes. I don't know if they would be willing to promote it
Okay, I think they might.
for them. And then I think the student wanted to get a picture with Mayor Timothy as well.
You guys all did a great job too.
Thank you.
all right, get on this side and I'll get on. Okay. Okay, now you gotta look back up that way, buddy.
Mr. Zan, can you come up
Mayor, could you smile, please, sir? You smile. The questions are less intense when you smile.
Well, we're not gonna do something.
I know. You just get a little more.
Hey, bring the light down again.
There you go, that's great.
Okay, cheese, 1, 2, 3.
Cheese.
Very good. That's probably.
Thank you, guys.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
No other?
I have a hat.
Do you know where Bob Hortons came? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all for the indulgence and. Okay, next we have. This is for. Yeah, and this is for Pepper's Grill. On behalf of the city of Roswell, we'd like to express our deepest appreciation and recognition to Pepper's Grill and Bar for 35 years of outstanding service to our community and community spirit and dedication. Since opening the doors in 1990, Pepper's has been much more than a local restaurant. It's been a gathering place where friendships have blossomed, families celebrated milestones, and the Roswell community has felt welcome, valued, and at home. For over 3 decades, Pepper's has stood for the best of Roswell, warm hospitality, unwavering commitment to quality, and a true love for the people it serves. From family dinners to graduation celebrations, community events, catering, throughout that brought joy to countless homes and workplaces. Pepper's has become woven into the traditions and ceremonies of our city. We also thank the staff, past and present, for their loyalty, hard work, and hard created the warmth atmosphere that generations of guests have come to cherish. Your dedication made Pepper's not only successful, but truly special. As Pepper's prepares to move on in December 31st, 2025, we honor the legacy it leaves behind. While this chapter ends, the impacts of Pepper's Bar and Grill will continue to be felt through warm memories shared and relationships built, and for the community strengthened within its walls. Thank you, Adam, Neil, Robert, and your folks, and the entire Pepper's family for 35 years of service, friendship, unforgettable moments. Roswell will always be grateful for the joy and the sense of community that have been brought to our city. Thank you, Adam, Neil, Robert, and the entire Pepper's family for 35 years of service and unforgettable moments. Roswell will be ever grateful for the joy and community you brought to our city. And so Pepper's, it's gonna be hard to lose them. They're really special. And I wish that they didn't leave. You have the deal for Miss Connie Carroll?
Mayor, you want to split duties on this a little bit,
Pardon?
help out a little bit?
No, yeah, that'd be good.
Ms. Harold?
It'd be great. And next we have, we have a recognition for Miss Connie Harrell, who could not be with us tonight. Chad, if you would read it, please.
Yes, sir. Mayor Jennings, members of the council, this is City of Roswell recognition appreciation for outstanding civic contributions. Whereas on October 19, 2024, the City of Roswell was struck by a devastating flood that profoundly impacted our community, its residents, and its historic treasures. And whereas in the wake of this disaster, the resilience and strength of our community were exemplified by individuals who rose to the occasion to support their neighbors. And whereas Ms. Connie Harrell Stone has consistently demonstrated a deep commitment to the civic and cultural enrichment of Roswell through her unwavering support of the arts and community initiatives, whereas in this critical moment of need, Ms. Harrell Stone, representing First National Tower Ltd., generously volunteered her facility space to house the museum staff as well as invaluable historic artifacts and works of art. And whereas her selfless contribution provided vital assistance for an entire year, allowing the museum to move forward with its inventory and restoration operations to preserve the heritage of our beloved city. And whereas Ms. Harold Stone's actions exemplify the spirit of the community service, her profound dedication to ensuring that Roswell's history and culture remain alive and accessible for future generations. Now and therefore, the City of Roswell proudly recognizes Ms. Connie Harold Stone and First National Tower Ltd. for their exceptional civic contribution, unwavering support, and dedication to our community in the aftermath of the 2024 flood disaster. Your kindness and generosity have made a lasting impact on the City of Roswell and reflect the very best of our community spirit.
Thank you. And, Counselor,
Oh, I did speak to Connie today, she did send a regrets that she couldn't make it, but she's honored by the recognition.
they really stepped up and helped us put the museum pieces that we had in a great place, in a safe place. And they really stepped up and helped us, so that was really great after the flood. Next we have Omar Gonzalez. Omar, for the airport update. Welcome. You're a little taller than the other one.
Yeah, thank you.
Just a little.
Yeah, usually Miss Bobby's the one up here doing this, but she's out this week, so they told me that I was gonna be stepping in her shoes.
Congratulations.
They fit a little small, but I got them on. After the air races, we thought everything was gonna calm down and, we're gonna have time to relax at the Air Center, but that wasn't the case. There's just events after events happening at the Air Center, it's been fun, I can say. Kept us pretty busy, kept us on our toes. One of them, I can give you an update on United Airlines. Over the past couple months, they've done a site visit at least 3 different times with 3 different groups, and each time they left pretty enthusiastic about coming here. They left pretty excited. They did tell us that on December 15th is when SkyWest is going to start doing the training on the employees that they're hiring to operate for United Airlines, right? They did give us a date of February 17th is when they're looking to start doing flights. The tickets are already on sale, you can buy them online. We're just trying to find space for them inside the terminal. We've been talking with United about the space that they're gonna need, their office space that they might need, and we're just trying to squeeze them in for now until we can, expand a little bit. Okay, so the next thing I got is, I just got a little story. It's, I know most of you guys heard about the passengers that were stranded here. So I just had a first-hand account that I wanted to share with y'all. It was on November 20th, we just wrapped up our airport advisory committee meeting. So as we left there, we heard that there was a flight coming from Midland that was diverted to Roswell because of weather-related issues. That flight sat outside, and they went ahead and deboarded the passengers. The passengers came inside, and that we were told that they were going to spend the night in Roswell. So with the leadership of Ms. Bobby, and she didn't even hesitate. She just, started gathering us together. We got staff together. We gathered up bottles of water that we had, brought them to the terminal so we could make sure that the passengers had something to drink as they got off the planes, as they settled in. As the night went on, we talked with the stranded travelers, and we learned that one of the groups urgently needed to get to Lubbock. So in a true display of community spirit, our very own Mr. Mayor, he didn't hesitate, and he offered his personal vehicle, and he offered to drive them himself to Lubbock, which I'm sure was a very interesting conversation all the way to Lubbock, which is a very, very short drive, right? So I commend you on that, Mr. Mayor. That was great leadership. Because of the number of passengers that were affected, the rental cars that we had there at the terminal, they were unable to accommodate all the passengers. So there was a number of passengers that were left there without a ride to hotels. They called, got rooms. So without hesitation, our staff stepped up and they began providing rides for the passengers. They were taking them in their own vehicles to drop them off throughout hotels throughout the city. That's when one of the trips, our own award-winning operations supervisor, Mr. Paul Behill, he proved and he showed exactly why he had just barely received the Pillar Award 2 or 3 days earlier that week. See, when Paul was driving with one of the passengers to go get food, he decided he was going to get 20 pizzas, and he brought the pizzas back to the terminal so we could feed the passengers that were there. There was no food at the terminal for them to purchase, so he brought the pizza back so they would have something to eat. His generosity was a bright moment in a stressful night. I also encountered a family who needed to get to Midland. See, one of the women that was in that group, her daughter was in the hospital in labor in Midland, so she was pretty desperate to get to Midland. But I was able to help find transport for 6 of them. And I truly hope that she was able to welcome her new grandchild into this world. And then as the night wound down, after ensuring that everyone needed transportation had received it, everyone who was hungry was fed, there was a few individuals who preferred to spend the night there in the terminal. So we had some pillows and blankets left over from the air races, and we gathered those up, took them to those 4 passengers, got them the pillows, the blankets. I'm sure it wasn't very comfortable sleeping in those chairs, but we tried to make them as comfortable as they could be for the night. So throughout this event, what stood out the most to me was this unwavering kindness, the teamwork, and the hospitality shown by the staff. They turned an unexpected, stressful situation into an example of what makes our community special. See, we didn't just assist the stranded passengers that night, we cared for them. We made them laugh, we made sure that they were safe, and I even exchanged a few dad jokes with a couple of dads there, and I took those home and I tried them out on my kids. They weren't happy. But in every way, our team demonstrated the heart of this city, and I couldn't have been more proud that night. So the next thing I also have is I wanted to show you all this new app that we have adopted. So I've been at the Air Center since 2012, and before, when we were doing our night inspections, our day inspections, we were piece of paper, drive around, write down what was wrong, then we would mark it in the book, log it in our books, and so by the end of the year, when we had our our inspections, we had a stack that big, you know, we'd have to sit there and go through every one of them, make sure everything was done right, make sure work orders were sent down, make sure that anything that was found was corrected. It's fine enough.
They're trying to get to the other screen to get to the link to get us into the app.
So while he's doing that, we did come across this app, and we have an iPad that the guy that goes on call, we have a guy that goes on call once a week, or 1 week out of the month, right? And so for that 1 week out of the month, he does night inspection and he does the day inspection. When he's doing night inspection, he's checking everything from lights to signs to anything that may be needed for the aircrafts when they're landing. During the day, he's also checking for rocks, any FOD, anything that's on the runways, the taxiways that could impact the airplanes.
Mr. Burris, you're not asleep back there, are you? Close. Okay.
So, I was gonna walk you guys through the app, but it doesn't wanna work. So, I'll just explain to you what the app does. So the app allows the guy to, in real time, he goes through his inspection and he's able to mark each light that's out, and it'll create a work order for the light. Sends the work order, it sends to myself and to Paul, and then it'll also send it to whoever we're gonna assign the work order to, which would be the electrician, and if it's a light. It sends they could create a work order for cracks in the runway, to the fence being down, to, it even has a spot on there where we can monitor wildlife. So we can monitor the birds, dogs, which we seem to get a lot of being out there at the base, deer. We haven't had any deer.
Are your lights mapped out over there, or do you just you have numbers for the lights?
No, so it's a map of the air center.
Okay, so it actually has the map.
Yes, and so the two electricians that we have out there right now are doing GPS, and so each light will have a little marker on it. So they can just select that marker, it'll pull up that marker, and not only does it keep track of that it went out, but it keeps track of how many times that light's gone out, how much we've had to put into that light, and you know, if that light's keeps going out, obviously there's something going on with that system, and we need to go in there and look more into not just the lighting, maybe it's the wiring. So it helps us to be more efficient. It also helps us to be more exact on what needs to get fixed, when it needs to get fixed, so we're ready for come inspection time. And it just brings us to the now, instead of using the pen and paper like we've been using. But it's a pretty exciting app. I mean, you guys are at the terminal one time, you want to see what it looks like, I can just give me a call and I can walk you through it and show you how it works. So I guess that's gonna be it for that app, since it doesn't want to cooperate. So the last thing I have is, as many of you know about the fire that happened at the Air Center. So this is my first-hand account of what happened. So it was on the evening of December 4th. It was just before 8 o'clock. And like many others I know, we're all at home watching the Cowboy game. Right? And so I receive a call from Don, and Don Fisher is the security at the Air Center. He calls me and he says, hey, one of the buildings is on fire, I don't know which one it is. So reluctantly, and and I'm watching the game, I said, man, what do I do? So I got up, got dressed, and I head out there to the Air Center. Once I arrived at the Air Center, I mean, I could see it once I entered the base. You could just see the red glow from the fire, and it was such an unbelievable sight that it looked like it was something out of a movie. You've seen them in movies, the way it looked, and it was just the flames stretched from one end of the building to the other end of the building, and they were pretty tall, and it was burning pretty hot. I mean, I watched that historic building just engulfed in flames, and I've been at the Air Center for 9 years, so it was a little hard to look at. It was kind of heartbreaking to see that building just burning to the ground without, there's nothing you could do about it. But at this time, I don't have any updates regarding the cause of the fire. And the information is being handled solely by ATF officials. But what I can speak to is the tremendous respect that I've gained for the city's fire department and the surrounding fire departments. See, I witnessed remarkable bravery from the men and women as they worked tirelessly to contain the fire. The fire only burned just right there where the building's at. And I don't know if you know where Building 66 is, but it was one of the original buildings from the Walker Air Force Base. 1942. It's been here since 1942. I lost where I was. Okay, so they worked tirelessly and effortlessly, right, to keep the fire contained. There was parts, airplane parts, right behind the building on the ramp side. They were able to keep the fire from moving over to those parts. There was a gas tank, fuel tanks in the back. They were able to keep the fire from going there. They even had planes parked back there in the back, and were able to keep the fire contained just to that one little area. I'd also like to recognize Chief Chavez over here. As I was out there, I look over and I see Chief Chavez just running back and forth between the fire trucks to the fire hydrants, just pulling hose back and forth. And I was pretty impressed.
Old man can run.
He still got it. See, Chief Chavez was trying to ensure that all the firefighters had the flow of water that they needed. So the leadership and the hands-on commitment were even evident throughout the night. Airport staff also responded quickly as well as we assisted responders, opening the gates, helping secure the area. Their support played a critical role in keeping the situation controlled and safe. Now, I'd also like to thank and send a gratitude out to the New Mexico Youth Challenge. See, the next day, we were tasked with putting up over 1,000 feet of temporary fence to block off that area. And the small staff that I have was going to take us pretty much the whole day to do that. But I made a couple phone calls. I called Billie Jean over at the Youth Challenge. She got in contact with Captain Martinez, and he didn't hesitate to send out a platoon of kids, which was probably about 30 kids, I'd say. They came over, they put the fence together, put it where we needed it at, and that took maybe an hour and a half to get that done. Their willingness to step in during a time of need didn't go unnoticed, and it's deeply appreciated. While this incident brought significant loss, it showcases extraordinary collaboration, courage, and community support. So I'm grateful to everyone who played a part in responding to this event, and I remain proud of the resilience and dedication shown by all individuals involved.
If I could chime in real quick, just a couple of quick things to note. This building is under ATF investigation as we speak, so we'll limit the public comments that come out of the city to ATF and their PIO coordination with the city. At this point, we do have our insurance investigator coming down this Friday to visit the site under ATF supervision. Kudos to, of course, our local fire department volunteers and our airport staff. Something that is kind of unique and special that is being noted by ATF and others that have come in from outside the community is the way our city staff works with one another, knows one another, whether it's the water department working with the fire department, the airport working with the fire department, et cetera, et cetera. So kudos all around. Again, this site is under investigation, and as soon as we get the report, we'll share that publicly. But at this point, it is a secure site, and we have notified the tenant in writing to stay off of that site.
And so that would conclude my portion. So I stand for any questions.
Anyone have questions? Councilor Maru?
First off, the first question is, who are the Cowboys? But anyway, the date of the Midland was stranded, where our food service out there wasn't able to get out there and help with the food.
No,
And when that's one reason Bobby's talking about trying to find somebody else.
correct.
Also, another thing is, did you ever consider reaching out to the university? The reason I'm telling you is we have plenty of beds out there. It'd be something you need to consider in the future, because we do have beds, we have rooms.
Okay.
We could put them up, help them out. And if you know Dr. Powell, he's willing to put his hand out there and help any way he can.
Right, I know Dr. Powell. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind, you know, hopefully it never happens again,
Hopefully it
but
don't happen.
if it does, I would definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, and like I said, I know Dr. Powell's put his hand out there and he'll open up whatever he needs to open up for something like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Councilor Maru. Well, you know, and please note, be sure you get applications to the college for our lodger's tax. You know, it didn't come from the finance committee, somebody's got to fund this place. Any further comment? I was out there that night, it was really good. You can't believe all the surrounding departments that came, everybody came, but you look how many hoses we had, and had those big water cannons on the top of fire trucks and everything else. When they would hit that wall, that was, the whole wall on the south side was just lit up, 30 feet tall. It was, or 25 or 30 feet tall. It was lit up just from glowing from the fire behind it. So was the north wall, all the way down. I mean, it was amazing how much was there, and to coordinate that many hoses, and I hope everybody got their own hose back. But, I mean, with all the fire trucks, that was really a really good, fantastic course of action. That fire, you know, of course, the other one had a pretty big start on us over there across the street when it burned a year and a half ago, but this one was totally controlled quickly. And our fire department and the people working together was certainly true, whether you were police or who you were. It was really something to watch. I was very proud of our city. And you're right about us working together. That airport, that air race put our staff working together better than anything else. And I can't tell you how proud I was to go out there and be associated either as an ex-fire chief or whatever, and seeing how well everyone worked together was really good. So, any further comments for Omar? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Kunkel.
Good evening, Mayor Jennings and Roswell City Councilors. The AAC had our December meeting this past Tuesday on the 9th. We had most of our Air Center employees in attendance.
with the exception of Bobby Thompson, who's at a conference in Las Vegas, and Michelle Sanchez, who just underwent knee replacement surgery. Omar Gonzalez, Deputy RAC Director, represented city staff at our meeting, did a great job, just as he did this evening. Omar, thank you. Thanks to everyone who attended in person and several that attended online. Our agenda was again lengthy with 22 items to be addressed. One public comment was moved on our agenda to accommodate a pilot representing the Kremlin organization. His comment had to do with the increased security measures required for entry, exit, into and out of the secured side of the air center. The increased security requirement was deemed to be more onerous than necessary. I see our pilot on the city council shaking his head, especially when exiting the secured area. Don Fisher, our air center security expert, addressed the question. His answer was predicated on the TSA requirements put in place following issues with the security from about 3 years ago. Many of you are familiar with that. The current security requirements are in place for at least 2 more years and could possibly be extended beyond that time by the TSA if deemed necessary. However, Mr. Fisher did offer to meet with the pilot outside of the meeting to determine if any accommodation could be made for their situation. So that's the only formal complaint that we've had. There's been numerous other folks that have just said it's pretty onerous. But we don't have a lot of flexibility because it's a TSA mandated agreement to what we had agreed to. The ADB lighting and new electrical wall project continues. The lighting portion of the project for updating, installing, and replacing original airport lighting and wiring continues 2 weeks each month. As previously cited, the new electrical vault portion of the project is much more complex. We've talked about that the last couple of months. The existing 2 vaults, which control airport runway lighting, are functional, but they are in need of constant maintenance. These 2 vaults are original equipment at the Air Center. Our engineering firm, Lochner Engineering, has done a survey to determine if there are any spare components that are older that could be used in these older vaults if the regulator fails in the vault. Lochner has determined that there are no replacement parts that can be utilized in the existing vaults. Therefore, if there is a component failure in the existing vaults, there is not a way to repair the old equipment to keep runway lighting operational. And make sure everybody heard me say that. Lochner, after additional research into lead times for a new regulator to power the new electrical vault, has identified that a best case scenario to obtain a new regulator could easily be into 2027. People don't have this kind of equipment sitting in storage. They make it as they get requests. At the conclusion of our discussion at our AAC meeting, Lochner was asked to address this critical issue and provide the Air Center some sort of plan about how we can accommodate aircraft with a possible inoperative runway lighting system. As Lochner has determined the extent of this problem over the last few months, the AAC felt it was imperative that we at least had some sort of plan to determine what action the Air Center can take if there is a regulator failure in our existing vault system. Lochner has been asked to provide any additional info and a plan to the AAC in the next 2 months. The BLM taxiway update project hit a water line during construction that was not known to be in that area. Some of the things I'm talking about are not fun things to talk about. So the project now requires lowering the water line and sleeving the line to protect from construction above the line and from the weight of heavily loaded tanker planes that use the taxiway. Lochner still believes this project can be completed in late January or early February, well before the 2026 fire season. The Southeast Water Line project is also continuing. Phase 1 of the water line to the southeast corner of the Air Center is complete. Underground utilities to the southeast corner continue to be installed. Sewer line construction is expected to be completed in March of 2026. This project is tied into the proposed Air Center Aircraft Museum, which is outside of the Air Center. The museum taxiway and gate update project is also continuing to move forward. Xcel Energy has now completed plans for electrical service to the museum location. Taxiway plans to move aircraft from the RAC across Wyo Road are mostly complete. However, plans for the size of the gate to get the aircraft, to move aircraft off the RAC and across Wyo Road, and a method to get the aircraft wings with engines below the wings through the gate and over the security fence is still being investigated. So any of you engineers, Mr. Cortez, that need to figure out how we can make all that happen, the engineering firm Olson Corbett is working on that. But that's a problem without tearing a bunch of fence down. The last item that I will address tonight is the terminal restroom project. This has been near and dear to my heart for the last several months. The main terminal restrooms, which are just west of the stairwell that goes up to the second floor, are in the final punch list and cleanup phase. We had a walk through this morning with the contractor and a representative from the engineering firm. The two restrooms are updated and are modern in appearance. I know that's hard to believe in our 50-year-old building out there, but quite honestly, it looks great. If a restroom can look great. Modern in appearance and function with automatic water faucets, long-lasting stainless steel partitions. The modern appearance is a huge update for our facility. This will definitely enhance passenger service for the terminal. Demolition of the east restrooms by the baggage claim area will begin this coming week. These two new restrooms will have similar finishes and updating, similar to the main restrooms that are just about completed. The two on the east end of the building are expected to be completed by the end of February 2026. This completes my report, and I stand for any questions.
Councilor Halverson.
So how do we have a water line that we didn't know anything about? I don't know if that's a question for James or.
You likely don't know, but there are water lines and electric lines and sewer lines and stuff all over that air center that nobody knows are there.
Can we do like 3D mapping or anything?
You can, and the engineering firm has said in some areas that they're gonna do that, but just to, for the area where this was installed, it could have run $45,000 to $50,000 just to do the subsurface mapping. It's very expensive to get that done.
Well, I'm just wondering if they,
Yeah, no willow witches.
so how hard is it to plug off that water line if you don't know it's there and you break it? How do you turn it off?
Well, first of all, there was water in it.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily know where it goes.
Yeah.
So that means we can't just plug it off.
Yeah, that's what I was curious.
So they had to dig it up across where the runway was. The runway wasn't installed, but the base course was. So they had to dig it up, and they're gonna have to lower below where it is now, and sleeve it, so that weight of aircraft and things like that.
They can't just cap it off?
That's what I'm saying. If you don't know where the water goes, you still need to get the water there.
There's a lot of curved field out there, there's no telling where all that stuff, that curve, wherever that field is, we have a lot of water.
Turn it off, you figure out real quick where it goes.
Well, that's not exactly true. Any other questions?
Councilman Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll tell you what happens when you lose the runway light. You shut the airport down for night operations. Period, end of story.
And that's something that we obviously don't want to do.
Well, you got a late night American Airlines that comes in,
Well, and you're leaving early in the morning sometimes in the dark too.
and United's coming.
So that's why we've only determined what the situation is with availability of these kind of components just in the last couple of months. And so the next step is to have the engineering firm come up with some alternative plan besides shutting it down during nighttime hours. And you're correct, I don't know what that plan might be, but we've got to investigate it and think about it.
Well, I don't know how the electrical system is, but I know 17's on the circuit from 21. Because at night, they turn off the light at 17 and operate on 21, which is our main runway.
But there are two control vaults, electrical control vaults out there, the original ones. And I don't know that they necessarily work in tandem. They may do different areas. But if components in those fail, specifically the regulator, there aren't any available.
I understand.
Yeah, all we could do would be to identify something at an airport that maybe would be willing to have us borrow it from them or something. But that's probably not highly likely.
Well, that water line that you're talking about could possibly run to some fire hydrants out in the airfield property. I don't know enough about it to know how all that plumbing is connected.
So that water line feeds the BLM building. It's their water supply.
Okay, so it comes from 91 back.
Yeah. So, no, it comes from, Jennifer Lane right there.
Uh-huh.
And it cuts straight across that where they're digging, and it feeds, the BLM building.
Okay. Nice to know.
So that's why we couldn't have it. We could now, but during fire season, probably have to open it up again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, and any other comments? Okay, has anyone talked with, Excel Energy
Reference.
about the problem we have? I mean, they have a lot of talents and an awful lot of electrical engineers that might be able to help us figure out that problem with the runways and the vaults and all that other stuff about.
Well, we've got ADB Engineering that is a third-party contractor that the city has hired, and they're on a contract to provide those services. Their main function, of course, was to replace old, outdated lighting and wiring. A lot of the wiring out there that feeds the lights that go to the runways is original wiring that the Air Force put down, or Army actually put down. So ADB Lighting, which is a major nationwide organization that does this to update airports, has originally identified this. We've had them talk to us, and you're right, XL Energy may be able to help. I don't know about regulators, that's a good thought, but ADB seems to have a handle on the pulse of that kind of equipment, and can we get any, or is there any available?
My goal is just not to dismiss somebody who electricity is their business.
Yep.
And I mean, and, you know, most people don't probably know that, but the air base just till a couple of years ago was on a different kind of current than the rest of the town. And, you know, so everything on the air base had to have some kind of different transformers on different things. And, because they had a different military type current or something that the rest of us, had different in town. So there have been some things where the college and they just changed transformers so everybody's on the same thing now.
We can,
I'm just
we
saying.
can make a call to ADB tomorrow and alert them to that and see if they've got any, if XL Energy can help them out with anything. We
Yeah,
can do that.
but, you know, XL Energy is gonna know what kind, probably is gonna know, throughout their huge company, they're probably gonna know what an awful lot of other places use, and there might be something they might know is similar, or might have, where they service, might have repair parts, who knows, but couldn't hurt to ask.
No, well, that's a good thought. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, bud. Yeah. Next, we have item 31, airport, travel, out-of-state travel.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
while the out-of-state travel is coming up, to Councilor Alverson's question about not going water lines and stuff out there, I can guarantee you, because Councilor Corn and I talked about this, in particular on this south side of town, there's water lines that we have no idea that are there until they bust on us. And that goes back 70, 60 years ago. So until they bring, we don't even know they're there. And I'm dealing with stuff around New Mark Pool, it's like, where'd that come from?
Can we not get something from the airport that shows?
they built that in the time of war, but the only thing we have to look at, that hangar that burned up was all in 41 and all that. We have water pipelines that are 8, 10 inches, 12 inches. They're cast iron that are useful life for 40 years, and they're still working. So,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
okay. Officer Bailey.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow councilors.
I guess you're kind of a short timer too, huh?
80 something, I got it on my phone.
I'll go to count.
Okay. I got the countdown. Out-of-state travel coming up for the Roswell Police Department. Lieutenant Fry and Deputy Chief Aldana will be going to Phoenix or Scottsdale, Arizona for an Axon Leadership Technology Summit, looking at Axon technology and real-time crime center stuff. All they'll need is per diem, and they're taking a department vehicle. The Axon's paying for the hotel. There will be cost saving to the city. Officer Ashley Hunter will be going to Amarillo, Texas on January 12th and 13th for Women in Command class. It's to learn and obtain tools of effective leadership in women policing. And the last two different dates, January 19th through the 22nd and February 9th through the 12th. Officers Jimenez, Gallegos, Cardiel, and Alvidrez will be going to Swift Water Rescue Technician Training in Texas. The one that was brought up a couple months ago in council, along with the fire department. I stand for any questions.
Any questions? The chief. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
short. Okay, next we have item 32.
Pardon the public comments.
Oh, is there more? Oh,
Yeah.
Omar, come ahead, I'm sorry.
So, good evening. January 15th, I had the opportunity to go to Washington DC to join an NTSB investigation and seminar. So there'll be the classes to help, investigate and to document just in case something was to happen at the Air Center. Hopefully nothing does ever happen, but this class will help document and who we need to get in contact with, who we need to call. Got any staffing questions?
Okay, is that all for, okay, and Omar, if you would, when Bobby comes back, if you would have her get with me, I would like to write a letter to the FAA and explain that this new council that we have cleaned up our airport and to ask them to reevaluate some of that about how well we are doing. We did with the air show and everything else to write about removing some of those criteria that we have. I know they are national punishments because of under our FBI agent, things didn't happen very well, and we had an awful lot of problems at the airport throwing people off, and FAA inspectors, it doesn't take a smart guy to figure out you don't do that. But we have changed, and I would really like to point that out to them.
Yes, I'll give
So
you
we can do that. Okay, and next we have for, the hose boy. So we just call you Jose or what? We know Hose B?
Mr. Mayor, council members. This is the team that we spoke about last month. This is a group of gentlemen that will be attending the San Antonio Water Rescue class with Chief Bateman and his personnel. They'll be going on 2 different dates. The first, these are some of our company officers, Lieutenant Justin Dorrance, Lieutenant Gamboa, Lieutenant Barwick, FAO Munoz, Lieutenant Boyd, FAO Baz, and then firefighter Sturza. Those are the guys that are part of the water rescue team. And I think once we get this completed, we'll have a rescue, we've got to send some guys to a rescue boat class. We're getting a boat donated to us by Church on the Move. Once we get that boat, we'll have to send another team to get licensed in boat operations. So those are some of the upcoming things for our team. Our water truck that we spoke about, the self-insurance fund, got us an LMTV. It's just a larger vehicle for water rescue. We'll attach that boat to that truck, and then these team members will use that for any other flooding events that we might have. Thank you for your time. If y'all have any questions.
Mr. Mayor, I think that Bill Hartman has a boat that they could use there on Kentucky.
So once we get everyone trained, you don't need any additional equipment other than the boat that you're gonna get and the car we have, so the truck we have.
Yes, ma'am. There'll be some other stuff that we'll get, but the fire department has purchased our stuff. We got life jackets, wetsuits, so we went ahead and purchased that stuff.
The big ticket items are taken care of.
Right. Yeah, anything else, the self-insurance fund is willing to help. I think the Church on the Move also advised that they'd help, and then the college is helping with some more training. So we've got a lot of support and pretty good movement.
Was that the boat that ran into the sheriff and he wouldn't get on the boat when he was when he was floating around in his pickup?
No, sir.
Oh. Okay. Any further comments? Thank you, Chief, and thanks for your good job on the hoses. Okay, next, public participation. In order to speak, we have, let's just bring back memories. Michaela Menz?
That would be me.
Oh, okay. 406 South Kentucky.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, councilors. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak. My name is Michaela Morris. I serve as a volunteer, Advanced EMT Director of Pecos Valley Public Services. We are a licensed medical rescue and community EMS agency in Roswell. We also operate as a registered overdose prevention provider and offer free medical training, including AHA, CPR, AED, Stop the Bleed, first aid, and of course, Narcan administration. I want to express my sincere appreciation for your consideration of allocating opioid settlement fund money to address the ongoing crisis. My thanks especially to Councilors Arnold and Korn for their work to bring that proposal forward. As many as you know, local volunteer organizations are on the streets every day responding to the full spectrum of mental health and social service crisis. In just the past few days, we spent more than 15 hours assisting an elderly gentleman who had become stranded in Roswell and was experiencing significant mental health challenges, during which he actually ran into the sheriff's office car. Working with nurses, physicians, adult protective services, community volunteers, and first responders, Pecos Valley was actually eventually able to secure appropriate placement for that gentleman and secure his belongings. I understand that Lifehouse provides valuable services related to opioid problems in Carlsbad and Artesia, and I believe they could also be helpful here. I personally would welcome their interest in expanding the Roswell. However, it is important to recognize that local volunteer and faith-based organizations, including the Salvation Army, Roswell Disaster Relief, Food Not Bounds, and our own agency, to just name a few, have long carried the day-to-day burden of supporting our vulnerable neighbors. With potential reductions in programs such as Medicaid and SNAP coming, the role of cost-effective volunteer organizations will become even more crucial. For that reason, I respectfully ask the Council to ensure that any engagement with Lifehouse or other outside entities is coordinated with local volunteer resources and first responders before funding decisions are finalized. I believe that collaboration will ensure the best possible outcome for both the community and the effective use of settlement funds.
Your time is up.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. Council Lady Arnold.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. McKelly, thank you for bringing this up, and also thank you for your service. I do want to just let you know that there was a lot of time spent working to figure out what to do with the funding, and then a lot of time working with officials to figure out what they were comfortable with doing with the funding. So I don't want you to feel as though there won't be opportunity. Your organization has come up many times as something that is imperative that Lifehouse collaborates with, but it's all about timing. I needed to focus on getting the county and the city to understanding some ideas on what to put forward. And I do want to say, should the contract pass council, it was absolutely in my mindset to create a huge meet and greet for everyone to meet with Lifehouse, because Lifehouse actually won't be successful here if they don't work with the community. That's how they do in Carlsbad. They're all community collaborations. And so that, of course, is in the plan moving forward. I just wanted to reassure you that there will be engagement coming, okay? Thank you, Mr.
May I answer?
Go ahead.
Yes.
I have never come before the council to ask the city for anything. It's not about funding for us. We don't really care where the money is spent. We just believe that it should be spent effectively, and that requires that those organizations who are on the street every day in Roswell deliver input before money is spent. You know, I mean, you can talk to everybody. You can talk to Lifehouse, and you can talk about their situation in Carlsbad or Artesia. Ours is different. We already have crisis response. We already have training. So I understand what you're saying and I appreciate it. I make that clear, and I believe that Lifehouse could be a valuable service to the community. All I'm asking is that you take the time, ask the city, as you, to sit down with the first responders and community groups who've been doing that since years and say, okay, what is it you need? What is it, how can we allocate the resources to support you? And I believe that lighthouses is a big issue. You know, we want them to be here. But what we do not think appropriate is that we put somebody on top, like that house, and they tell us how it's supposed to go. We have the experience here. We're doing it since a long, long time. We're trained. We have resources. All that is already available. It just needs to be more effective. And that is where funding can go to. We need the backing in the back, you know? I mean, what is it? We resolve a crisis. How do we treat the people after the crisis has been resolved? We need backup in the back. That is where Lifehouse comes in. I'm asking, please talk to us. Let us give you the input you guys all need to make the best decision to effectively disperse the money.
Yeah, you know, all our fire department, our police department, and you all, everybody needs to sit down and work together with the hospitals and everything else on.
Absolutely, I agree.
And that's what you're saying, and that should
Yes.
happen. We should all look at that all the way through about where everybody's going, getting people the service as quick as possible. And I'm sure we'll keep that going. I agree with, you know, everybody has to be in tune with what's happening. Any further comments? You're thinking I would take care of 406 South Kentucky, that's my grandmother's house.
I will.
All right, next we have Carrie Moore at 1200 South Richardson. Ms. Moore.
At this point, it's like, good morning, Mayor, council members. My name is Carrie Moore. I'm the director for the Chaves County Health Council, 1200 South Richardson. I'm here just because, as the director of the Health Council, we are part of the Behavioral Health Reform Investment Act, which is the SB3. And we had our first meeting on Tuesday, so I'm here to give an update and discuss the collaboration and some opportunity for extra funding that's going to start coming through. For those of you who don't know, the Behavioral Health Reform Investment Act was a $1 billion trust that was created. Right now, there's $250 million set aside for the next 4 years to help with behavioral health. They broke it off into the judicial districts, and so we are part of Eddy and Lee County. Eddy County is the head of our LC5 district. So we have to meet with them and they'll oversee all the funding and everything that comes through. There was $27 million that has to be spent out by the end of FY27. So they divided that up into all the LCs. For us, that's about $2 million for the LC5. They're thinking they're gonna divide that up about $650,000 per county. We're not 100% sure. This is what that meeting was on Tuesday, was trying to assess what the gaps in services are and to try to filter that money into hitting some of those target areas because that funding has to be spent out. That has to go to, Eddy County will put it to Santa Fe next week, so we should be hearing something soon on that one. We are also working with Judge Hudson. We're working on writing a grant for jail diversion program. Again, it's part of that funding that has to be spent out by F27. It's just, they're allocating it weirdly. Some of it's through the AOC, some of it's through the HCA. And so we're just trying to piece all these sections together. And I am so out of my depth on a lot of it because I don't deal within that. But I'm a good researcher and I can find stuff. I'll find it. So we're working on that. We don't have to turn that grant in until the 19th, but we're trying to start at least with the jail diversion piece to it. The other big piece is that through the SB3, We have the community listening session that's coming up. That's gonna be January 13th at the college from 9 to 11:30. That's where we start our collaboration. That's where we bring in the hospitals, the behavioral health, the nonprofits, the faith-based, and the government entities, and start discussing what pieces we want, where we want to start filling in, and start building our plan. So this is the beginning of it. And that is all I have at this time, so I'll stand for any questions.
Councilor Alverson.
So other than the jail diversion, the funding will go to something like this?
Yeah, that 250 million is tied to, it's in 5 different areas, and I know you're gonna ask me and I didn't write them down, dang it. But it's jail diversion, it's mat services for the jail, it is the behavioral health, it's the treatment centers, and then it's the social determinants of health. So we can detox them and put them in places, but if we put them right back on the street, it doesn't do anything any good. So it's trying to fill all of those gaps all the way through.
So it sounds like this would be good collaboration with like Lighthouse, what they're gonna be doing with the opioid funds, because it's all covering the same things.
Right, so, and a lot of it is because they seem to be throwing this out here like on really fast deadlines. This grant for, that Judge Hudson's working on, I got it yesterday. It's due in a month. These are really fast to write a jail diversion grant in 4 weeks in the middle of Christmas.
A lot of research.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's in the loop on this one. But yeah, it's part of it, putting all these pieces together to start building it. It's that 250 million is for 4 years. So because we're lacking in so many resources, the goal is to try to attack and get my hands on as much as we can for our county.
It's every county, New Mexico, I think, is lacking in resources.
Well, yeah, but they're not gonna divide it up evenly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna attack and try to get as much as we can for our county.
That's all I have.
Who appointed you, or are you appointed by the county commission? Is that how that works?
So, every county has to have a health council. Where I'm at is recognized by the county as the official health council for the county, and being the director. Our funding goes through Department of Health. Part of our funding mandates that I have to be on this behavioral health grant. So, kind of, sort of, yes. We're an unfunded mandate.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Corn.
So who's your, who's keeping track of the money? It's coming.
Fiscal agent, what you want, fiscal agent.
Huh?
We're in 501c3.
Who's your fiduciary agent?
The Chaps County Health Council, we're a 501c3. We're a nonprofit.
You're using state money.
Which comes through DOH.
But at least, Mr. Mayor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to have a government agency as your fiduciary, because the money can't
Go to private people.
Huh?
Can't go to private.
Can't go to you.
Yep.
Has to come through the
You have to go to
city
the
of Roswell. We're not gonna, we don't have any provisions right now, or the county, or the school district.
I have a contract with the state of New Mexico through the Department of Health to provide services through to the county, to Chaves County.
And you're talking about some real money here.
I'm not the one that's touching the 250, I'm not the SB3 fiduciary holder on this one. My $80,000 that I get from DOH to operate the health council and to cover the initiatives that they have me doing is separate from this.
Understand, they send you that $80,000 directly?
Yes. And I have deliverables and I have to invoice for that.
So you're contracted with the state?
Yes.
So I guess, DFA is taking care of the requirements under the law. You can't normally, at least I don't know any way to do it, where you receive state funds. It has to come to somebody else, another state agency, city agency, county agency, that, and I don't know, there may be a break in there, I don't know, where you can directly contract with the state. But the money you're talking about, you're gonna have to have a fiscal agent.
So for the Behavioral Health Reform Investment Act, the SB3, that $1 billion trust fund, that $250,000 has to be allocated out in the next 4 years, that is through Eddy County. Eddy County is the head of that. Everything will run through them.
So it's going through Eddy County.
Right, when we're talking about that.
Yeah, so it'll all be taken care of by Eddy County. She has to send her bills to Eddy County, and then Eddy County authorizes them and they pay.
Yep.
No, but okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Moore. Yes.
Before we get going into the public hearing, could I have a couple minutes here to say a few things?
A couple things?
Yeah, just a couple. Are you worried?
Do we have any objection by any member of the council? Is there anyone that wants to hear?
Let me think about it.
No, but hold it to 3 minutes.
Would you like
to vote on this, Mayor? Roll call vote.
Why do you want me to address you guys?
There is a place here for public participation.
I did sign up. I feel the pressure.
Well, you come next month, you can sign up. Can you keep it short? Would you start the timer 3 minutes?
Yes, sir. Madam Clerk, can you give me 3 minutes? I'll try to do less. I just want to say I've really appreciated getting to work with all of you. It's been an honor. All of you up here working with you, Mr. Mayor, obviously Councilor Hildebrand. I'd like to congratulate Councilor Gass, soon to be Councilor Gass, on filling the seat in Ward 3. Thanks to Matt Chappell as well for his service and all of you. There's a lot of, we do a lot of serious things up here. I didn't know what we would do when we got in here. And I've gotten the opportunity with working with Chad, city staff, clerks, apparently the most bodacious fire chief around with his, all these discussions of boats and the hoses he pulls. It's really challenging me not to get excited. I worked with engineering, I've worked with water, still doing projects. I'm here for 20 days, 4 hours, 16 more minutes. Ms. Arnold, I'm a little concerned about your 10 presents. That's a big bar you set there. So challenge accepted. No, Julianne, you don't get credit for hours. The currency is toys and they're for tots. So pony up. We got till 5 o'clock tomorrow. I'd like to thank Mike Matthews. I'd like to thank, there's just too many people to thank. We all work up here. We sit at the dais and we talk and we make decisions that are consequential. But the true work, and I think the mayor talks about this, is behind the scenes, the maintenance. Julianne, there's a reason we don't know where the lines are because we can't see under the ground, unfortunately, yet. It's hard work. There's a lot to do. Maintenance and those things, water, you guys are great. There's so many people in the city working every day that we don't get to see what they do. I'm a grunge kid, 1990s, so I'm more of a Pearl Jam guy, as you guys know. And I just wanted to say that this year's also been challenging because we did lose Ozzy Osbourne, as you know. And I didn't really like metal, Slayer rules and all, but Ozzy said, the power of people when they focus on something positive never fails to amaze me. And I think that's what I'm going to take away from working with the city and working with all of you. And I just really appreciate the opportunity, and I'll still be here in the community. I'm your biggest fans. Keep doing what you do, and thank you for all you do. We'll see you next time. Oh, and Omar's not here, but go Hawks. What was the time?
2:38.
You're welcome.
Chris, I'll see you at trivia.
Yeah, don't show up.
Okay, there's 20 seconds to add.
I'm gonna take his last 20-some seconds he has left. I just want to tell you, I appreciate Councilor Cortez and what he's done. It's been a great pleasure to work with him. When he first came on, we were gonna be Ward 3 and we were gonna attack all the other wards. But, and want to take control, he wanted to take control of all, but it's been a great pleasure working with him, the things he's done with the water department. Yeah, we're working on a neighborhood stabilization program in Ward 3. Hopefully it's gonna work out well and we can roll it out to the rest of the wards, but it's been a great pleasure knowing Chris, how I know him now, and he'll be deeply missed, and as everyone, we move on. So thank you again, Chris.
Okay. Thank you. One thing, I was looking for a new young person to come here and really get into city government. And you really did a good job, Chris. And most people will never know the help you've done and the things you've done in the water department to get it straight. And you and Tammy and the water department here was set up on Tyler, was not set up correctly. It was a total mess, and they've been able to go around and get things working, and you provided a great deal of help for that. I certainly appreciate that. And I think, but the public will probably not ever really know the help and the things that you put together with the fire department, on the water, the fire hydrants and their flow and everything else, on making them work, testing them, and getting everything back together. When we started as mayor, we had like 200 and some fire plugs that didn't work. So there was a whole bunch. And you know, you really helped our water department immensely. And I thank you very much for that. And you know, but you kind of let it slide there a little bit. When Bud was telling you about all this engineering degree you had, would you please furnish him a copy and maybe the council?
Well, Mr. Mayor, just real quick, I appreciate all that. Of course, I'm not an engineer, right? I'm just a well-trained parrot. But I would like to say that, you know, I think I was part of a team with the city, working continuously. There's still a lot of work left to be done. Chantel's here. We've got some, I just helped kind of give us a little more technological edge, but I'm not actually, like, it's these guys out there, the water department out there that was testing hydrants today and doing great field notes. If you're lucky, I have a no poaching rule, because I would snag some of those water guys. Not so much the firefighters. I don't like the mustaches. They freak me out. The bearded water guys fit in better a little bit. You know, we don't tie women to railroad tracks and stand over them like the mustache firefighters. But I just would say that the work's ongoing. It's a combination. It's Tony, it's finance, it's billing. It's all this stuff that goes on behind the scenes every day that you have to keep up, you have to maintain. It's challenging work. You know, it's not exciting work. It's like, you know, I gotta go get a proctology exam or something, you know. Women have to do the smear thing, you know, partial credit. It's challenging work, but it's not exciting. But it goes on and on and on and on. And I didn't do much. I really did a little part, and I'm glad to help. And it's gonna go on without me, and there's lots to do. And I'll be around to help you guys and cheer you on. And so I hope you consider me a resource, and I'll be ready. So.
Thank you, but you have your engineering degree in hard knocks, and I'll give you one if you need one. You know, he really has been a huge help, and thank you. And Kurt, you got big shoes to fill, but you'll do fine in the chair. You know, we can fill that chair like me, you're in good shape, so. It's good, you really did a lot of help for us, and I appreciate your appointment, and thank you for serving, and I hope you look at more government, city government activities in the future. Okay, so now we gave you all that time. A lot more than 3 minutes, you owe us. Okay. Is there anyone else, no one else has signed up for public participation? So next we go to item 32, approval of final plat to replat 5 lots into 8 lots for 8 single-family residential lots in 800 block of West College and the 1500 blocks of North Michigan Avenue, North Kansas Avenue. Councilor Halverson.
Mr. Chair, I move that we open a public hearing for approval of final plat to replat 5 lots into 8 lots for 8 single-family residential lots in the 800 block West College Boulevard and the 1500 blocks of North Michigan Avenue and North Kansas Avenue. I think they have to swear in, correct?
Please raise your right hand.
Okay,
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
okay, we have a motion by Councilor Halverson, a second by Councilor Arnold. Okay, Mayor, proceed.
Thank you, Mayor Jennings, members of the council. Here we have zoning case M-Plat -25-0180. It's a final plat, and we're requesting the city council hold a public hearing to hear the zoning case, which is a request to approve Black Diamond Maywood subdivision, a minor subdivision plat in the R3 zoning district to subdivide 1.72 acres that consists of 5 existing lots into 8 lots to build 8 single-family dwellings in the 800 block of West College Boulevard and the 1500 block of North Kansas and North Michigan Avenues. The slide shows the zoning map. Again, it's R3 zoning district. You can see it's on the north side of College Boulevard. The stars show the 5 existing lots. And the excerpt from the plat, the proposed Black Diamond Maywood subdivision, shows 8 lots. Each of the lots is 150 feet wide. 150 feet deep. And the 6 interior lots are 60 feet wide, and the 2 corner lots are 70 feet wide. And each of those lots does meet the minimum, it exceeds the minimum lot size. This is a Google Earth Street view of the properties under consideration. You can see the alley in between, and this is looking north from Maple Avenue. This is an excerpt from the Comprehensive Master Plan Preferred Land Use Scenario Map 2016, and this case meets a couple of the goals in the Comprehensive Master Plan of 2016, including neighborhoods and housing goal 1, promote a variety of housing types, sizes, and price ranges to accommodate housing needs of existing and future residents, and Chapter 4, Section 4.9, Land Use Goal 1, promote quality infill development and redevelopment within existing neighborhoods or areas that are already served by city infrastructure. There is water and sewer already available in this area to serve these lots. There have been 0 protests, only 1 inquiry to someone who received a letter and they wanted to know more about the case and what that meant. On December 9th, 2025, the City of Roswell Planning and Zoning Commission voted 6-0 to recommend approval of zoning case M-Plat-25-0180 to City Council. And based on all the above, the regulations established in the zoning ordinance and subdivision ordinance, Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation, and the materials presented, council is requested to vote on this case. And Arturo Alvarado, who's the owner of the property and also the applicant, I don't think he made it. He had a family engagement that he had to be at.
Okay, questions of Mary?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor.
Councilor Cortez.
Thank you for all you do Good luck on your zoning revision next year. Are we also approving, so we're doing a variance also on the setback there? Is that part of this, on that plat, it says?
Mayor Jennings, Councilor Cortez, only the Planning and Zoning Commission has to approve the variances, which they did.
Okay. So
The setback variance.
I just saw it on the plat and just was curious how that works. So that makes it more practical in that setting. A little more practical to develop that lot.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So, any further comments? So then on College Street, where these are, is there room on those streets for the expansion of College? And to make College a bigger street?
Mayor Jennings, the right-of-way there is approximately 16 feet from back of curb to the property line. So there's plenty of room for any type of expansion on College.
There's plenty of room if we had to add a street on, or a lane on either side of that street, because that.
It's the same as those.
Well, I understand, but I'm just looking about when you go down that road.
I know, but it wouldn't make any sense to put one over there on these 2 blocks to.
Well, you might have to eat that, you might have to buy it all. That's why I just wondered if there was plenty of room. You don't want to have to buy houses. So that's all I'm seeing is College is a street that is very, very busy.
Mayor Jennings, there is about, it's my understanding, there's about 16 feet of right-of-way between back of curb and the property line on the other side of College.
That's on both sides.
I don't know about the other side.
That's on the north side though.
On the north side, yes, sir.
The plat shows it's an 80, College is an 80-foot, existing 80-foot right, which is pretty significant.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so next, are there any further questions? Councilor Arnold?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just kind of wanted to make this is a bittersweet decision. That land was something that my grandmother worked 10 years at a bar at night to buy, and my family was there for many years. I did look to purchase it myself, but I'm super excited to see other families living there and being raised there. So, but I also realize I'm gonna have to ask for my grapevine back. My grandmother's grapevine is still planted there, so, but I just wanted to say that because I got all nostalgic, so thank you. Very excited.
Okay, so do we have an amendment on this as well?
No, sir.
Okay. Any further comments? Okay, on a motion, I remind you, it takes 6 votes. The majority of all the members on a motion by Councilor Halverson, second by Councilor Arnold, to approve the final plat, the replat of 5 lots into 8 lots for 8 single-family residential units in the 800 block of West College and the 1500 blocks of North Michigan and North Kansas Avenues. If the clerk can call the roll.
Councilor Oropesa?
Yes.
Councilor Cortez?
Aye.
Councilor Cavan?
Yes.
Councilor Hildebrand?
Aye.
Councilor Arnold?
Yes.
Councilor Maroko?
Yes.
Councilor Johnson?
Yes.
Councilor Corn?
Yes.
Councilor Halverson?
Yes.
By a vote of 9 in the affirmative, none in the negative, item 33 is passed.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of the council.
Thank you. Next, we will go back to item, we've had all this, we will go back to item 4 on the calendar. And that is on the South Sunset Diet. I didn't know it was too fast, but.
Mr. Mayor, Council. So this item has been to Infrastructure Committee multiple times, been to Public Safety Committee, and most recently been to Finance Committee. So to give some background on the process of how this developed, we had some complaints of excessive speeding on Sunset from McGaffey to Brasher. So we initiated a speed study, which we completed in-house ourselves. In that speed study, we looked at total traffic volume as well as speed. So our data showed that the average daily traffic on that portion of South Sunset is around 8,800 vehicles per day. And the speed, we measured the 85th percentile speed to be 46 miles per hour, which is 11 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. We also retained a consultant, Lee Engineering. We had them look at 3 of the intersections in that corridor. So they looked at Sunset and Hobbs, Sunset and Poe, and Sunset and Brasher. They did a safety review of all 3 of those intersections. They looked at sight distance, they looked at traffic volume. None of those 3 intersections warranted a change of intersection control based on traffic volume. They did note that Sunset and Poe hit what is referred to in the manual uniform traffic control devices as a crash warrant, meaning that the level of crashes over a 3-year period met a certain criteria. There is a provision in the manual of uniform traffic control devices that if you hit a crash warrant but not volume warrants, which is the case of that intersection, that potentially you need to be doing something but not a change in intersection control. So based on that, we went back and did some more digging into crash history. So the crashes occurring in that corridor, in my opinion, are more related to the current configuration of South Sunset as a 4-lane roadway. So to give an example of some of the crashes, there's crashes where people are waiting to turn left onto a side street and they get rear-ended because they're stopped in a travel lane. There's no opportunity for them to be in a designated turning lane to get out of the flow of traffic. There's been some pedestrian involved crashes in that corridor. And there's also been crashes related to improper lane changes and things of that nature. So based on that, we looked at the potential of doing what's referred to as a road diet on that segment. In other words, changing the configuration to go from a 4-lane section to a 3-lane section, which would be 1 lane of travel in each direction with a center turn lane. The Federal Highways Administration has criteria on when a 4-lane roadway is potentially warranted based on traffic volumes. Their criteria is around 12,000 vehicles per day. Currently on Sunset, like I mentioned, we measured 8,800 vehicles per day average. To put that in perspective, 8,800 vehicles per day is roughly the same level of traffic that is on Atkinson from 2nd to McGaffey. And to get from that level to 12,000 vehicles per day would be something on the order of a several hundred home subdivision to generate that many additional daily trips on that corridor. Federal Highways Administration, other criteria is peak hour traffic volume. Their criteria is 750 vehicles per hour. Lee Engineering, in their study, they measured peak hourly volumes. Their highest that they measured was 500 vehicles per hour. Again, to put that in context, to generate 250 additional peak hour trips would take something on the order of a major commercial development, something like Walmart, Home Depot, Sam's Club, something major like that. Advantages to a road diet, again, based on Federal Highways Administration studies that they've published. Potentially we could realize a 29% reduction in total crashes, a 4 to 5 mile per hour reduction in 85th percentile speed, and a 30% reduction in excessive speed. Also in your packet is an excerpt of the plans that we've partially developed for this diet. I've also got a larger copy if anybody would like to see a larger copy. And I'll stand for questions.
Questions, Council Lady Howard?
This diet includes bike lanes too, right? When you change it to 3 lanes?
Mayor, Councilor, yes, that's correct.
Bike.
Oh, bike. Any further? Mr. Cannon, just one
comment, you're talking about 8,600 a day. You know, I know that is one of the main thoroughfares for people to go to work and come back from the air center. And I would hope that in the next 10 years, if we're going to be adding anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 more jobs out there. That's gonna increase that traffic flow on Sunset, because that is a main thoroughfare for people to get to work and to go to school.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor, yes, that's correct. And the advantage to this proposed treatment is it's just striping treatment. So the asphalt remains unchanged. So if in the future this develops to where the 4-lane is warranted, again, we can reverse the process and go back to a 4-lane.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any further comments?
Yes.
Councilor Leon?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. From hearing this concept initially, my first instinct was something's off. There was a couple things, 8 years in sitting in official meetings with cities and counties. I was highly concerned because it is a thoroughfare and there was no discussion of public hearing or advertising for public hearing or outreach. This affects not only Ward 4, but it affects all of us because it is a main thoroughfare. And once you actually start altering these, you start altering the way other people get to work, get to school. And so I wrote a statement so that I could effectively cover every aspect. I think out of all of it, the fact that there was a lack of public input and the bike lanes, being a young person who rode my bike on that road, a bike lane with an already chaotic area just really bothered me. But let me go ahead and, if I may, present what I'd like to present and the reason I pulled it off. And I did promise Councilor Corn that I would be brief, so because it is Christmas. So if I may, this is a formal statement of objection that I did actually have put on record with the county clerk.
Sorry.
It's hard to be serious. But anyways, I just did ask the city clerk to put this on record just so we would have it. And it says, to the Honorable Mayor and City Council of Roswell, I respectfully submit this statement of objection regarding the proposed reconfiguration of Sunset Avenue from a 4-lane arterial to a 3-lane cross-section with added bicycle lanes. Traffic volume and functional classification, according to the City Commission traffic study, Sunset Avenue currently carries 5,300 to 8,700 vehicles per day. Under the City of Roswell's 2016 comprehensive plan, any roadway with volumes exceeding 5,000 warrants classification as a minor arterial, not a collector. The proposed design reduces vehicular capacity on a roadway that now meets arterial thresholds and will experience increased demand due to ongoing development near Brasher Road. Number 2, safety and speeding concerns. The traffic study correctly identifies speeding and crash patterns. However, the proposed redesign does not address the root cause, insufficient enforcement. Many of the councilors have publicly stated that more police presence and enforcement are needed on our arterials. Engineering changes without behavioral enforcement may introduce unpredictability, congestion, or unsafe passing behavior. A redesign does not change human behavior, better enforcement does. Number 3, lack of diversion impact analysis. The traffic study did not include a diversion analysis. Reducing Sunset's through capacity may redirect vehicles into adjacent arterials and residential zones, shifting the danger rather than solving it. This omission leaves a significant gap in determining the true community impact. And yet we are being asked to vote on the cheapest option, not the most effective or safest one. Number 4, public process efficiency. This measure was placed on the consent agenda, resulting in no public notice and no opportunity for residents or affected businesses to provide input. A roadway redesign of this scale must be subject to full public engagement, open discussion, and transparent evaluation, especially that is actually the proper procedure for anything noted in the 2016 comprehensive plan. Usually you actually have to go back and make amendments and then call for a public hearing. And so, that's why I'm saying initially I was alarmed, because if Councilman Johnson had actually brought up these kind of changes for Wyoming, I would have been like, okay, but this is a main thoroughfare that affects the whole city, affects the day and the nights and the lifestyle of all residents from the north down into the south. And so that's why I'm respectfully objecting to the adoption of the proposed restricting, and I respectfully request that the council table this and send it back to infrastructure to gather more information for a full analysis of reclassification and traffic redistributions, to public notification and comment opportunities are provided. Development impacts from Brasher Road projects are incorporated, as we have projects going up, and it seems like every month we have a new item coming up in our air center and our industrial area that are going to be significant. And I just see this 3-lane as actually altering, and yes, it's going to slow down, and it'll slow down because everybody's going to move everywhere else. And also, I just really reject the idea. We have bike lanes coming in other areas that I feel are much safer. Just the curbs being this high with the pointed edge, putting trapping a bicyclist in between that high curb and moving traffic that can easily divert into the bike lane or divert into the turning lane. Like I said, that's why I actually think, Mr. McCormick, you did a fabulous job. You did exactly what you needed to do that you were requested by Councilman Johnson, and I thank you for that. But I really feel that this is not as simple as 4 or 5 meetings. This is, as I've seen them before, and Councilman Oropesa can attest to this when they were talking about Richardson in Virginia. These are big discussions that affect our whole city. So I would like to ask that we consider moving it back to infrastructure to dig in a little deeper, have a little more conversation, and I yield. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Johnson, and then did you want to?
Yeah, we go first?
Go ahead.
All right, yeah, first, hey, Mr.
Mr.
Cornick. I have a couple questions reading this thing that was presented to us at a meeting here today. It says here that, this is the 2014, do you have this in front of you, this 2016 comprehensive master plan map, which does the functional classifications of the road? Chapter 7, do you have this one?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I'm curious, and can you, for everyone, so we all know, I think I know, but I don't know everyone knows, could you give us your background in engineering and any specialties or training you've received?
Yes, sir. So I got my engineering license in 2010. Background relating to this, prior to coming to City of Roswell, I worked for New Mexico Department of Transportation as a traffic engineer.
So a lot of people don't know this, again, right, I'm not an engineer, just a well-trained parrot, but actually just being an engineer doesn't mean that you would stamp or work on any type of project. But I remember in our meetings in infrastructure, I asked you this question, if you felt like through training and expertise that you were willing to affix your stamp and work on this as a professional.
Yes, sir.
So you feel like you're qualified in this regard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it a requirement of minor arterial to have 4 lanes, 2 lanes on both sides? Is that the definition of an arterial?
No, sir.
Are there streets in Roswell that are classified as minor arterials on this map that do not have 4 lanes?
Yes, sir.
Are there streets on this map that are classified as minor arterials that are only 2 lanes?
Yes, sir.
Are there streets on this map that are minor arterials that would benefit from a turning lane and the addition of a 3rd lane?
Potentially.
So just to be clear, so we're saying that the definition of arterial has nothing to do with the lane composition or size. Okay. So in your professional opinion, as a traffic control engineer qualified, do you think And I do agree with the mayor, it's a funny joke about the diet. Normally, don't go get the bear claws at Roswell Donuts, they're fantastic. But, so the word diet's weird, so I just want to throw that in there. Mary's some more thunder. And that's the last one for those of you counting. In your professional opinion, is this a approach that you would endorse as a professional engineer, and you think it's worth trying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have.
Would you like to go now?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, and, you know, I really appreciate your study. I appreciate your concern as well. And, you know, living in this area, listening to all my constituents, and, you know, working in traffic myself for a couple of years, and then actually training everybody in traffic for many years. You know, I worked beside you for quite a while too. I'm very aware of the MUTCD, all the regulations, and I'm very familiar with a lot of things you mentioned. But what, you know, traffic impact analysis are usually like a big Walmart. You want to do a traffic impact analysis, big Home Depot. Site threshold assessment is something you want to do when you bring in big businesses, which there are big businesses coming, which we're 50% probably less than the traffic, 12,000 versus 8,000 in the traffic count that goes through there, the ADT, average daily traffic. And, you know, this being looked at, 46 mile an hour, I mean, my gosh, that's the minimum, because you have people ingress and egress in there. And when this study is done, it picks up low mileage vehicles coming in and out. And I mentioned this before. And that goes into the average. So 5, 10 mile an hour, 80, 60 mile an hour. And in your study, did you have vehicles going up to 80 mile an hour?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, that's flat out scary. And cause when I see kids trying to cross there, cause they all go to the elementary school, on a daily basis, except for the weekends. And to see the cars flying through there and the kids trying to cross there, it's scary. You have Lions Honda Little League there. The safety of the kids is what I was really concerned about. People commuting down that road, you know, if you want to speed, there's 285, a couple of blocks over, you can get on 285, and you can do 55, 65. But this road needs to be 35, and you're exactly right, Counselor, that people want to go a little faster, they can. When there's 4 lanes, you can get around and you can fly around somebody. And you mentioned also that there's no way it'll hold people from doing the speed limit. One car does 35, they're all going to do 35, and that's just how a road diet works. It's going to be unfortunate for the people that want to do 80 mile an hour, because they're going to get behind vehicles that they're going to have to do the speed limit. And of course we need enforcement, and enforcement is a problem. We need enforcement all over town, and we know that. And we're getting there ultimately on our enforcement. We're staffing the policemen. Bottom line, there's a lot of initiatives going toward that. And you know, I appreciate the outreach to you know, public comment, but working in traffic for many years, that's very seldom done. It's what's done, I mean, speed limits are lowered, speed limits are raised, striping is changed. Public input is usually on new construction, and when you have big businesses and stuff coming in. And the collaboration of the public is very necessary. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilor Hildebrand. Councilman Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And this might be more of a Meredith question than for you, but how does this bike path fit into our city plan on bike paths?
So in I forget the year it was done, there's a bike pedestrian master plan that was adopted by the city. So
does this fit inside there if we turn this into?
So the advantage to the design we have is that it will provide connectivity to the Hondo, which was identified in that plan as a potential future trail location.
Again?
And the other thing is this about the minimum width that you could put a 4 lane, currently as it is, put a 4 lane, it's a minimum width? Cause I know there's many areas down there, there's no sidewalks at all, pedestrian problem. Light poles are, what, 5 feet off the thoroughfare?
Yes,
I
sir.
looked at
It's a
them, they're
very,
about 5 feet off the thoroughfare. So that looks like a dangerous situation to me as well. I mean, you're the engineer. I don't think you'd build a road now with light poles 5 feet from the thoroughfare, would you?
no, sir.
Thank you, James.
Councilor Alverson.
So, per public input, you said this went to 3 committees, correct?
Yes.
So the public had opportunities to attend. Personally, I don't think it's a problem. Atkinson is only 2 lanes and it's always been 2 lanes. And I don't think people have a problem with that, so I don't think, this is even a shorter road, so I'm happy to see bike paths, because that road is impossible for a bicyclist to safely ride on that road, so I look forward to having, yeah, or even a pedestrian, exactly, there's no sidewalks, so, that's all.
Anyone else?
Mr.
Just
Chair?
for a second time.
Yes, thank you, that's why I called it forward. Because I believe, I'm not questioning that your status as an engineer. I'm not questioning that we have a speeding issue. I am gonna say that I think that there was a whole lot left out, and I do not believe that this is our best. I think it's a lipstick on a pig. But, and I really think we should be planning to expand that saving, fiscal responsibly saving. However, what I'm bringing forward is that I believe in, I sought legal on this. Councilor Hess, are you still online with us? Councilor Einstein? I don't know if he's still with us. No.
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Because I think for the last 7 to 8 months, the council has been very big on pointing out proper procedure. And my point being that since this is an aspect of the master plan, as I understand it, there is a procedure that we must follow when it comes to items of the master plan. So what I'm really bringing forth is not a question of your education or your ability. I think you're spot on. We have a serious issue. I don't think it was the best choice out of the 3 that you provided us, because you provided us with 3 options. And this was just the cheapest. But I would like to ask Mr. Eintema if you can advise as far as are we actually following proper procedure? Should we at least be having a public hearing for an item like this? And I mean, I'll stand down after that.
At risk of sounding like the lawyer, that's a complicated answer. Generally speaking, in municipalities, it is frowned upon for individual resolutions or decisions about engineering to be made by the councilors. That said, the engineering department does agree with this, so that's a good thing. But procedurally, legal worries about piecemeal adoption of things, because there's nothing really stopping you guys from disagreeing with the engineer in the future. City ordinance itself says that under the engineer's direction, all roads will be designed with council supervision. So it's one of those 2 things. Now, as far as the master plan goes, I'd have to look at it more closely, but if it's the engineer's determination that's key within it, I don't have that in front of me to immediately question that.
I'm sorry.
I hope that was sufficiently all.
Can you repeat that last part?
That if the engineer's view, so as far as the interpretation of the master plan, I would have to default to the engineering department's reading of it on my own. And so I'm not sure I entirely agree with what he's saying, but I'm not going to question it or have enough to argue against it.
Okay. Thank you. I'll stand down.
Okay, anyone else? You know, when I look at this, I know that street is a very heavily traveled street. All the streets north and south in Roswell, almost all of them have some wide spots in it, especially these. Sunset has wide in it, goes down to real narrow a little bit. And, but you know, if you go over a block to Union, and Union is the only street that goes all the way through from Berendo, it goes up to Montana, comes down, goes down all the way down Union, and it comes right up, to Brasher. If we would make sure that, if we could have been there before they put the, solar plants or the solar farm out there, and take that all the way to the base, you can significantly lighten the load on Sunset and have them go down College. Either if you even have a jog in there, because there is a farm there, and to go into Monksdale Road and take that to the bypass, you could lighten the load a great deal on Union, on a road that goes all the way through town. And you will still have a couple narrow streets down there by Roswell High between McGaffey, but you can significantly lighten the load on Sunset relatively easily by probably have to condemn some of those solar lights that are there if you make it straight, but you also have to cut farmland into there and by lightening that. But with one significant little 1.5-mile stretch, I guess it's about that, you can significantly lighten the load on Sunset. And on a street that goes all the way through town, not just to 2nd Street. So I hope you would put that in your deal and get it in the county's plan, that we would be much better off to widen Union than to try to put Washington Street through, because Washington gets significantly more traffic and is much narrower streets than Union. And we really need to work on Union being another access to lighten that load for dense traffic. And you kind of have a school, even if you go on Union, you're going to probably have a school problem going over to Washington or Lee or whatever it is, Monterey. Monterey's the school. So, you know, I think this is probably, seems to me like it's a good idea to work. I travel that road all the time, and I will tell you, I have been passed by people going 75 miles an hour, and it's all hours of the day. And so, you've already spoken. Okay, go ahead, one more time.
So one thing I did mention in the finance meeting was, you have it going back to 2 lanes on the north side of Brasher, so that the bike lane just ends there. I think it would be better to go to 2 lanes on the south side of Brasher, than the bike lane at least in an ended intersection, not in the middle of the road.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Councilor, the reason we did that is because of some specifications in the manual uniform traffic control devices, so that's why we transitioned in that manner,
Okay.
north of the intersection.
See, he did study a lot.
That's right.
He knows more than me, that's for sure.
Mr. Mayor, one more question.
For a third time, or last time?
Second time, that should be the last time.
Oh, no.
It will be. James, so let's say we vote and we go into this striping process. What kind of mechanism would you be to use to assess the success of this and possibly any unintended consequences? You know, you can't plan your way through everything, but what kind of process would you use to make those determinations?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, Councilor, we would look at doing a post-project study. We wouldn't do that immediately after, because you need to give it time to stabilize and develop enough data to judge that against the pre-project condition. But we would look at replicating our speed study after the project.
Thank you.
Any further comment? Okay, we have before us, and we have represented, or Councilman Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we approve the South Sunset Road Guide Design and Construction.
Is there a second?
Second.
Council Lady Halverson, seconded by Council Leader Halverson. Any further comments? Okay. We have on a motion by Councilor Gordon, seconded by Councilor Halverson to approve item 4 on the budget approval to proceed with Sunset Road Diet Designs and Construction. If the clerk would call the roll.
We can
Take
do
6.
a voice vote, Mr. Mayor.
Are we sure we'll all get, so we have 6? Voice, okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, show Councilor Arnold voting no, and so by a vote of 8 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, item 4 is duly passed.
Thank you.
Next, we go back to, pardon? Oh, thank you, Jane. Yeah. Okay, no, we go back to item 30, no, we did 33, so we go 35, approval of draft contingency plan, Councilman Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we approve the drought contingency plan for 2025 as presented.
We have a motion by Councilman Hildebrand, second by Councilman Cabot. For the drought contingency plan, is there, yes ma'am, go ahead.
No, I'm the one that wrote it.
Oh, you wrote, well,
I'm here for questions.
just for questions. Okay, are there any questions of anyone on the drought contingency plan? Anyone for questions? You know, if you're planning for a drought contingency, why didn't you have something planned for the flood?
That's what, I wasn't getting paid for that. I'll never use that excuse.
That's the other end of the spectrum, right?
Good. All you had to do was just do a 180. It couldn't be very hard, you just, when you said no, you had to say yes.
Just open up a couple pipes.
Yeah, okay. No further comments. Okay, on a motion for item 35, approval of the drought contingency plan for 2025. On a motion by Councilman Hildebrand, second by Councilor Hammond. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 9-0, boy, we really got through that. Thank you for your diligent work on your plan.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Arnold is stepped away, so it's 5.
Oh, 8, oh, I'm sorry.
0.
She didn't ask to be excused either, so we just have to give her a 0. Okay, next we have items 36.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we hold a public hearing to consider adopting proposed ordinance 25-07, an ordinance for the sale of real property.
Second.
Oh,
Give it to him.
all right, we'll give it to the last talk. He promised us he wouldn't talk again. But Councilor Cortez and,
Give his last one.
don't worry about it, counts. A motion by Councilor Hildebrand, second by Councilor Cortez. Is there, okay, would you like to,
I'm swearing in.
oh, we gotta swear you in?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mayor, councilors. So tonight is ordinance 2507, the ordinance for sale of real property for the approval to enter into a purchase and sale agreement with Jeffrey Miller, the interested party. The city has owned the property there, and the old Parks Department, I think we're all pretty familiar with that one, at 212 East 12th Street. Total purchase price shall be $36,000 for the 1.25 acres. It was independently appraised at that price. City management has reviewed the site and has no plans to develop that site, with one caveat. City attorney prepared the revised purchase and sale agreement that put the provision in the contract for the 2-year, clawback, in case flood remediation needed to be done in that area. The legal committee passed it 5-0 on October 23rd, and went to the consent agenda for the right to advertise for the public hearing on November 13th, and here we are tonight. So please consider recommending ordinance 2507, the sale of real property, and approval for the city council to enter into the purchase and sale agreement. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion by Council Miller and second by Council Cortez. Is there anyone that would care to speak on this? Anyone care to speak? Mr. Burris, is this the building you screwed up?
Yep, that's.
Oh, okay, so you got it all down now.
It's very well documented.
That's what Hildebrand.
I do have a question for, our city attorney. You still there?
I'm here.
Where is the clawback provision in this exhibit 1?
Yes. Can you repeat that, Councilor?
The clawback provision they was talking about, if this needs to be used for flood remediation.
Yes.
Where is that in the exhibit?
Todd, you'll have to help me out here.
Yes.
The version I sent you out.
That's the deliverables.
Page, oh.
Yes, 4.2, page 584.
Okay, closing deliverables.
Yeah. Closing deliverables, the closing seller shall deliver a buyer a duty executed an acknowledged quitclaim deed conveying property to buyer, subject to a reversionary interest for flood control mediation and property costs, and subject to all matters of record. Buyer shall deliver to the city a money order for the purchase price.
Page 588.
My file, mine didn't have that, so, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Is that for 2 years?
Yes.
Is that long enough? I mean, we haven't seen a hell of a lot of activity from FEMA. I'm just, you know.
I believe if it's longer than 2 years, our buyer will go away. He's a construction professional and is wanting to take over that property to rehab that building and that property and use it as a construction yard and offices. So we haven't scared him off yet.
Mr. Mayor, I'll chime in briefly if that's all right. We always have the ability to take the property for flood control measures. It's simply inherent in the city's authority. So as far as legal is concerned, that language, it was added by legal committee at their request, but I view it redundant to our ability to condemn property for flood purposes.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Councilman Wu?
Thank you, Mayor. Quick question, Todd. All the equipment left on there in the pictures, was that left behind for the purchase also?
No, sir, it has not been cleared yet because the purchase and sale agreement hasn't been executed. Before it gets fully executed, we're taking everything that is ours out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, any further questions? You want to reflect in the record that Councilor Arnold came back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just didn't know if you caught it.
I did, thank you.
Okay, on a motion for item ordinance number 25-07, hold a public hearing to consider adopting ordinance 25-07 for the sale of real property, 1212 East, or 2, whatever it is, on East 12th Street. On a motion by Councilman Hildebrand, second by Councilor Cortez, if the clerk would, you want a voice vote again?
No, sir.
You want a roll call, okay, well, that's good. Okay, if the clerk would call the roll.
Counselor Oropesa?
Yes.
Counselor Cortez? Aye. Counselor Cavan?
Yes.
Counselor Hildebrand?
Aye.
Counselor Arnold?
Yes.
Counselor Marujo?
Yes.
Counselor Johnson? Counselor Corn?
Yeah.
Counselor Halverson?
Yes.
By a vote of 9 in the affirmative, none in the negative, item ordinance number 25-07 has been disposed of.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have the city's manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I'll be brief. $137 million HUD community block grant, tentative application process and community forum rollout, scheduled for early February. At this point, they're still working through the RFP for general contractors at the state level. $11.4 million of city flood disaster expenditures have been obligated in FEMA's portal for in excess of 6 months and inspected and authorized projects through that FEMA portal. $13.9 million applied for and received to receive Senate Bill 31 revolving loan funds to generate needed cash for FEMA qualifying expenditures to be reimbursed through the flood disaster. So those revolving loan funds, that gives us the cash, we expend them, FEMA reimburses them, that pays back the revolving loan fund. So that is at $13.9 million applied for. November 25th, departments' presentations were made at the local legislators' capital outlay hearing in consideration of ICIP requests for prioritized city council member voted on projects. I'll give you the list from 1 through 5 that you voted on. $5 million for flood disaster infrastructure repairs and replacement. $4.5 million construction of 4 lanes on West Country Club Road. $900,000 citywide drainage study to address future flooding. $1.5 million fire station number 2 for female fire and EMT accommodations improvements. And $260,011 for Roswell Transit Facility sewer line replacement and ADA restroom improvements. As part of that same meeting with local legislators, on November 25th, special projects request for the governor's ICIP capital outlay request, prioritized by Mayor Jennings. $150 million to address critical infrastructure and facilities repair and replacement resulting from the October 19, 2024 flood disaster, 4843. It was also noted by our legislators and discussed at length that we are awaiting pending reimbursements from FEMA's system with all these obligated projects that have been sitting there for months at a time. And so they have asked that we write a letter and that they would like to sign it and put pressure on the state level to push those FEMA funds through. So we have written that, Mayor Jennings has signed it, I've signed it, and it's going to our local legislators, and they are very adamant, particularly Senator Ezel, about getting some pressure on the state to get those FEMA funds released. City engineering and water department, great job, you guys. That's Andrew and James McCormack have collaborated on the application process, requesting $10 million from New Mexico Water Trust Board for aging water line and infrastructure replacement. At this point, they've completed the initial application for $10 million and submitted and have attended the required trainings for that money. Currently, they are in phase 2 of the grant process, completing the required readiness application, which is due January 22nd. Official awards for funding will be announced in October of 2026. With regard to our internal audit team, Judy and Willis Schumer, they have been provided a city laptop and access to the city's accounting system to create pending work product reports to the council. Judy and Willis have both met one-on-one with Councilman Corn. External auditor Chris Gardner for the fiscal year 2024 audit has been provided all information requested to date. Now that has extended, more requests in the weeks and months as we've gone along. But to date, he has received everything he has requested from our finance and city. In order to complete the fiscal year 24 audit and transmittal to the New Mexico Office of the State Auditor for review and acceptance. That's important. State Auditor gets the report, then they have to review the report. They don't necessarily have to accept that report. After review, they can kick that back and start you at the back of the queue. Ms. Henderson.
Are we gonna lose, like, the grant that we got for animal services and stuff? You were mentioning we may not.
So, he should have a draft to us by next week.
So wasn't it due December 1st for the grant?
I'll have to go back and check that.
So nobody knows the answer to that question except the grantee or the grantor.
Can you find out?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll be really upset if we lose that grant.
Yeah, and it's a good point. So let me talk about that for a minute. Fiscal year 2024 audit pending, backed up behind a special audit, and of course the last year that particular external auditor is conducting our audit, because we're moving to a new external auditor for fiscal year 2025, which she is in the middle right now. So what that does and what that has done, it has suspended the city's bond rating. So right now we don't have a bond rating because we don't have a fiscal year 2024 audit. However, the state auditor has extended us on the FY24 audit. So we're not in trouble with the state auditor, thankfully. But we could lose grant funds as a result of not having that audit. So pressure's on. We meet with Mr. Gardner every week, every Friday. We'll meet with him again tomorrow. I'll continue updating you here. I think where we're at now, everything has been submitted. He is telling us he will have that draft copy to us by the end of next week. What happens after that is we have to have an exit conference with our audit committee, and that includes the mayor. And it gets submitted to the state auditor's office. As I was saying, it has to be reviewed and accepted. And once it's reviewed and accepted, then it is eventually approved by the state auditor. Then it comes back to this council. This council has to approve it as well. And then you have a completed audit at that point. Citywide fleet management has been reorganized under the direct supervision of Abraham Chaparro and Debbie Rayner. Fleetio champions have been identified for every department with city vehicles and heavy equipment to update our inventory and maintenance records. Vehicle titles will remain under the direct custody of Ms. Becky Hicks in order to ensure proper segregation of duties and confirmation of asset ownership. The city has recently hired a certified emergency vehicle technician, or EVT, who can also certify EVT work of the mechanics that work under his supervision. This new EVT manager is the only person that is certified in the state of New Mexico to work on and maintain ARF trucks. The city encourages surrounding communities, emergency services, to schedule their required vehicle maintenance and repairs early with the city of Roswell in order to lower their current costs incurred by out-of-state vendors under a monopoly pricing scheme. Today, Early College High School, working with the Eastern New Mexico University Roswell at the Cielo Grande site, launched rockets, and they will be working with our airport manager and Spaceport America in order to celebrate the centennial liquid rocket fuel first flight by Robert H. Goddard. That'll be March 2026. As Mr. Cortez alluded to, Casa Kids is collecting toys for Christmas. Your staff has got us about halfway to our goal of 180 toys. There's a big box set up at City Hall if you'd like to help us with that. And with that, I'd just like to wish each of you and your families a very Merry Christmas.
Did you get everything answered?
Yeah, Tony's gonna check.
Oh, okay, well, you have more questions than everybody, even Cortez. Was that your pet project?
I wanna know, is there a legal recourse we can take against the auditor if we lose that grant?
We will have to pursue those avenues, but yes.
Mr. Eichmann, would you tell her a lawyer on either side can sue anybody?
That's right.
We'll file some lawsuits.
There you go. Better be nice to the attorney. You will? Councilor Cortez, do you have one more question? Do you have any more statements?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you, it's been fun having you here, you've done a good job, thank you.
For
very
Rita,
much.
happy Hanukkah, everyone, and everyone else, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right.